In this video, we're taking you along for a 2-day adventure in Lisbon, Portugal. With only a short amount of time, we're squeezing in as much as we can, and trust me, it's going to be worth it. On day 1, we hopped on a classic hop-on, hop-off bus to explore the heart of Lisbon. There's so much to see, and this was the perfect way to cover the city's must-see spots. Then on day 2, we took a quick train ride to Sintra to visit the stunning Pena Palace and the ancient Moorish castle. Both are absolutely breathtaking. Whether you're planning your own trip to Lisbon or just curious about what this beautiful city has to offer, stick around. This video is for you. Lisbon is the capital of Portugal and is located on the western coast of the Iberian Peninsula, right where the Tagus River meets the Atlantic Ocean. This city is one of the oldest in Europe, with a history that stretches back thousands of years. You can really feel that history as you walk through its cobbled streets and see the mix of ancient architecture and modern life. Lisbon has been shaped by many different cultures over the centuries, from the Romans and Visigoths to the Moors, who left their mark on the city before it was eventually reclaimed by the Portuguese in the 12th century. It's a city that's rich in stories, with each neighbourhood offering something unique. Lisbon is also known for its iconic yellow trams, delicious cuisine, and warm, welcoming people. It's a city that blends tradition with a laid-back, modern vibe. Whether you're into history, culture, food, or just soaking up beautiful views, Lisbon has something for everyone. For day 1, we decided to explore Lisbon using a hop-on hop-off bus tour. Now, just to be clear, this isn't a sponsored recommendation. We genuinely thought it was the best way to see as much of the city as possible in just one day. There are a few different companies that offer these tours, which we'll link below, but we chose to go with Worldwide Sightseeing. What we liked about this option is that the pass lasts for 24 hours from the moment you activate it, giving you plenty of time to hop on and hop off at your own pace. Worldwide Sightseeing offers 3 105-minute routes: the Green Line, the Blue Line, and the Red Line. With over 30 stops across the routes, you can easily explore the city's key sites. Each bus has audio commentary available in 13 different languages, which is great if you want to learn a bit more about the sites you're passing by. We ended up doing both the Green and Red Lines, and it was a fantastic way to get a feel for the city's layout and see some of the key landmarks. For us, this was the best way to see Lisbon in a day. We went with the most basic option, which cost $35 USD, but if you're short on time, just like we were, the hop-on, hop-off bus is a solid choice. The first stop on our itinerary was St. George's Castle, which we reached by foot from our hotel. It was about a 10-minute walk from our hotel, uphill and hot, but totally worth it. We highly recommend buying your ticket online because the line to get in was huge. We actually got really lucky, and a worker was quietly selling tickets off to the side and no one seemed to notice, so we managed to skip the line. Once inside, we were completely blown away. The castle itself is like stepping back in time with its ancient stone walls and towers that have stood for centuries. As you wander through the castle grounds, you can't help but feel a sense of history surrounding you. The views from the castle are nothing short of spectacular. You get a panoramic sweep of Lisbon, from the terracotta rooftops of Alfama to the sparkling waters of the Tagus River. It's the kind of place where you can just stand and take it all in, appreciating the beauty and scale of the city below. Beyond the views, the castle has so much to explore. There are winding paths that lead you through different sections, including the old battlements, which offer even more incredible vantage points. The history of the castle is fascinating. It dates back to the 11th century and has seen everything from medieval battles to royal celebrations. There are also exhibitions inside that dive into Lisbon's rich past, with artifacts and displays that really bring the story of the city to life. After fully soaking in the views and history at St. George's Castle, we made our way back down and hopped on the bus, ready to continue our exploration of Lisbon. As we made our way through the city, we passed by the Monastery of St. Vincent outside the walls and the National Pantheon, both of which are stunning landmarks. We decided not to get off at these stops, but they're definitely worth a visit if you have more time. Our next stop was the Marquis of Pombal Square and Edward VII Park. We hopped off here for a short break, taking in the grand statue of the Marquis of Pombal and strolling through the beautifully landscaped park. After switching bus lines, we arrived at the large Commerce Square, one of Lisbon's most iconic squares. This massive waterfront area is surrounded by grand yellow buildings with traditional Portuguese architecture, and it's framed by the impressive Rua Augusta Arch. The arch is a striking piece of neoclassical design, adorned with statues that represent various historical figures and virtues. It serves as a gateway between the square and the bustling Rua Augusta, a lively pedestrian street filled with shops, cafes, and street performers. We walked around the square, taking in the atmosphere and enjoying the view of Tagus River. The square has a rich history, having been rebuilt after the devastating earthquake of 1755, and you can still feel that historical significance as you stand in the middle of it. The combination of the grand architecture, the river views, and the vibrant street life made this part of Lisbon incredibly memorable.
As our bus ride continued, we made our way toward the historic Belém district, passing under the massive 25th April Bridge, which is often compared to San Francisco's Golden Gate due to its similar design and bright red color. As we approached the bridge, we also caught a glimpse of the towering Christ the King statue across the river, a striking figure that watches over the city from afar. The Christ the King statue, or Cristo Rei, was inspired by the famous Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro. It was built as a symbol of gratitude for Portugal being spared from the destruction of World War II. Our route took us past two of Lisbon's most iconic landmarks, the Jerónimos Monastery and the Belém Tower. The Jerónimos Monastery is an architectural masterpiece, with its intricate manuline style and stunning details that reflect Portugal's age of exploration. Just seeing it from the bus, you can't help but be amazed by its impressiveness. Next, we passed the Belém Tower, a fortress that once guarded the entrance to the city's harbour. This tower, with its unique design and rich history, is one of the most recognisable symbols of Lisbon. While we didn't get off at either of these stops, it was still amazing to see these landmarks up close from the comfort of the bus. They're both must-visit spots if you have more time, but even just passing by gives you a sense of their significance and beauty. Our final stop of the day was the Monument to the Restorers. This tall obelisk in Restorers Square commemorates Portugal's independence from Spanish rule in 1640. It's a striking piece of history right in the heart of the city, and although we only spent a short time here, it was a fitting end to our day of exploration in Lisbon. On day 2, we left Lisbon and took a train to the beautiful town of Sintra, known for its fairy tale-like palaces and green, hilly landscapes. The train ride itself was a peaceful journey, giving us a look at the Portuguese countryside as we moved away from the city. Sintra is a place where history and nature come together, offering a perfect escape from the busy streets of Lisbon. Our plan for the day was to visit two of Sintra's most famous landmarks, the colourful Pena Palace and the ancient Moorish castle. Both are set high in the hills, offering not only rich history, but also some of the most stunning views in Portugal. We were excited to explore the history and beauty of this incredible UNESCO World Heritage Site. Pena Palace is one of the most famous landmarks in Portugal, known for its striking colours and unique architectural style. Originally built as a chapel in the Middle Ages, it was transformed into a royal palace in the 19th century under the direction of King Ferdinand II. The palace is a mix of architectural styles, including Gothic, Renaissance, and Moorish influences, which give it a distinctive and eclectic appearance. The exterior of the palace is painted in vivid shades of yellow, red, and purple, making it stand out against the surrounding greenery of the Sintra Hills. Even on the cloudy day we visited, the colours were vibrant and striking. The palace's design also includes many decorative elements like intricate tilework, statues, and spires, reflecting the romantic style that was popular at the time of its construction. Inside, the palace is equally impressive, with richly decorated rooms that give a glimpse into the lives of the Portuguese royalty who once lived there. We walk through the various rooms, from the grand halls to the more private living spaces, each filled with furniture, artworks, and other historical artifacts. The palace also has terraces that would typically offer sweeping views of the surrounding area, though on this day the clouds obscured much of the landscape. Despite the weather, Pena Palace was a fascinating place to explore, offering a deep dive into Portugal's royal history and architectural heritage. When we arrived at Pena Palace, we quickly realized just how popular it is. It was extremely busy, with large crowds both outside and inside the palace. The area around the palace was bustling with visitors, and getting around required a bit of patience. If you're planning to visit, it's good to know that there are several ways to get there. You can take a taxi or an Uber equivalent, or use the public buses, but be aware that the buses can get very packed, especially during peak times. Viewing the outside of the palace is free, which is great if you want to admire the architecture and take photos of the vibrant colours and unique design. However, if you want to see the inside of the palace, which we highly recommend, you'll need to purchase a ticket. We paid €15 per person for entry. One important tip, be sure to arrive on time for your scheduled entry slot. as they are strict about not letting people in after their designated time. This helps manage the flow of visitors inside, but it's something to keep in mind as you plan your visit. After exploring Pena Palace, we made our way to the Moorish castle, another great significant landmark in Sintra. The entry fee was €12 per person. This castle, dating back to the 8th and 9th centuries, was originally built by the Moors during their occupation of the Iberian Peninsula. It served as a strategic defensive outpost, with its location on the hilltops offering commanding views of the surrounding area. The Moorish castle is a true fortress, with thick stone walls and rugged towers that have withstood centuries of history. Walking along the castle's ramparts, you can really get a sense of its strategic importance and how it was used to protect the region. The views from the castle are normally breathtaking, offering a panoramic look at the Sintra hills and the surrounding landscape. However, on the day we visited, the clouds that had rolled in earlier were still lingering and visibility was quite limited. The thick mist obscured much of the view, which was a bit disappointing as the scenery is one of the main highlights of the castle. Despite this, the Moorish castle itself was still impressive, with its ancient stone walls and pathways steeped in history. It's a place where you can really appreciate the long history of the region, even if the weather doesn't fully cooperate. After spending 2 days exploring Lisbon and Sintra, we felt like we had experienced a great mix of history, culture, and stunning landscapes. From the vibrant streets of Lisbon to the ancient castles of Sintra, we were able to see so much in a short amount of time. The hop-on hop-off bus tour gave us a convenient way to cover a lot of ground in Lisbon, while our day trip to Sintra offered a deeper dive into Portugal's rich history and natural beauty. Even though the weather wasn't always on our side, particularly with the clouds in Sintra, it didn't take away from the incredible sights we saw. Pena Palace and the Moorish castle were both highlights of the trip, each offering a unique glimpse into the past. If you're planning a visit to Lisbon and have a couple of days to spare, we highly recommend making the trip to Sintra. Whether you're interested in exploring historic landmarks, enjoying beautiful views, or simply soaking up the atmosphere of these amazing places, you won't be disappointed. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope it helps you make the most of your own adventure in Portugal.